Who does Georgia play next week? They play Missouri. Missouri is not a good team at all. Yeah, I love George. George is funny. Missouri is not a good team at all. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a home game for UGA. We played Missouri last year with JT Daniels. Absolutely steamrolled them. What was it, 49-14 last year? Boom. Georgia will open up as a huge favorite in that game. That game just won't be close. Missouri couldn't even cover the spread, I don't think, against Vanderbilt. Yeah, Missouri was a 16.5 point favorite, I believe, to start this game. They ended up winning the game by 9 points against Vandy. Missouri has not looked good at all season long. Basilek has been very disappointing. Comes into the UGA game with 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's just not going to cut it. Missouri has a really good running back, but defensively, Missouri is probably the second or third worst defensive team in the SEC. In fact, they are the second worst. I don't think there's another team other than Vandy. Vandy's the worst team as a whole, as is. But comparing their defenses to other SEC teams, I think Missouri's the 13th is going to be rated 13th in the SEC defensively. So Georgia really shouldn't have a problem running the ball. Missouri is actually the worst rush defensive team in the SEC. They gave up 260 yards. They gave up 260 yards rushing to Vandy. That's 7. They gave up 7 yards per carry against Vanderbilt. Man, that is terrible. Georgia's going to be about a 35-point favorite against Missouri. I think they should be able to cover that. That's how bad Missouri is. But I think Pickens comes back against Georgia Tech. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know anything when it comes to George Pickens when he'll be back. We still haven't seen Dominic Blaylock. Preseason-wise, he was supposed to be back by now. So no JT Daniels either. I'm not sure he should be the starting quarterback, but I don't want to get into that. I just want my coach fired, and I predict Georgia doesn't win the national title based on what I see. I don't know if Florida will fire him this year. If you finish the year 8-4 and then win your bowl game, he's not getting fired. But if you don't do that, I don't know. You're telling me a team with 100 5-star has a gnome for a quarterback? Are you serious? Yeah. Georgia's got a former walk-on, starting QB. Is what it is when they got JT Daniels on the bench. JT Daniels, if you looked at him on the bench, he looked exactly like he looked last year's Florida game. He looked upset and bored. But again, I'm not going to get into much of that. But hey, I'm glad you guys won as long as we fire Mullen. Again, I think it's going to be hard to fire Darren Mullen unless he absolutely finishes the year terribly. If he goes 8-4, wins the bowl game, you probably play in the Outback Bowl, play a decent Big Ten team, you probably win that. Go 9-4. Yeah, I don't see Florida firing him, but it's going to be hard, honestly. I've seen Florida State. Florida State has been playing a lot better. And from what I've seen in years past with Florida, they always seem to stumble after the Georgia game. That doesn't mean they lose, but they do seem to take a toll after that Georgia game. And you know, Florida players and fans, you know your season isn't going as planned. You do play a terrible South Carolina team next week. I think you play South Carolina. You play South Carolina on the road next week. South Carolina is one of the worst teams in the SEC. If you find a way to lose that game, Dan Mullen will probably be 100% fired. I don't know if Florida can. I don't know if Florida is going to roll the dice and fire him this year unless something really, really, really bad happens. So all the teams that Georgia has beat suck, so you still haven't played nobody. Arkansas is a good team. They're sitting at 5-3. They'll probably come into the top 25 this year. I mean, this week when the playoff rankings come because of their strength of schedule. Auburn is playing right now. They're about to score on Ole Miss. Auburn's ranked 18th in the AP pool. They're not a bad team. And you got Florida and Clemson. So it is what it is with that. Kentucky is a good team. Kentucky's playing Mississippi State right now. So I agree 100%. I'm thinking about Alabama and Ohio State. When I said the teams that could beat UGA, I think Ohio State and Alabama could beat UGA. I don't know if they would. If Stetson Bennett was a starting quarterback for both games, I would probably take either one of those teams, honestly. Georgia's defense, as good as it is, both Ohio State and Alabama are going to score at least 30. So they need to mentally regroup and try to finish strong. Yeah, Florida. And you see, this is the problem with teams in the SEC. Once things get bad and once teams are used to actual great seasons like Florida has in the past, they've had, 3 years in a row making a New Year's Six. They won the SEC East last year. It's going to be hard to motivate some of these players. I'm just being real, especially for what the product that you want to put out on the field is versus reality. So, so there you go. It's not always about what the fans want, obviously, but hey, it is what it is. 2 minutes left in the second half is where I said that earlier. It was literally 3-0 with 3 minutes left in the second half. 3-0. Stetson Bennett throws a terrible interception. And I'm like, well, great. Florida's going to come out. Florida and Georgia are going to go into half. It's going to be 3-0. Florida's going to get the ball to start the second half, and they're going to go down and score a field goal or a touchdown, and then here we go. No. Anthony Richardson's fighting for extra yards. Ball gets ripped out of his hands by Nolan Smith. Georgia scores a touchdown. Then it looked like Anthony Richardson and Dan Mullen and the play calling got a little bit they panicked a bit, and they threw I forget what the play call was. I know it was a pass to Gamble or Zipper. It was going to the tight end. The ball got deflected, I believe, by Trayvon Walker. I forget. But they got intercepted by Nolan Smith. Georgia scores on one play, and then you threw a terrible interception on a linebacker. Basically, it was a linebacker read type of thing. He was going to Malik Davis, and he threw a terrible lollipop pass. That was probably the worst 2 minutes of football I've ever seen by Florida, honestly. But it's not like the offense was doing that. It was clearly the defense. Those 21 points were all defensive, in my opinion. Both of them, one of them was a defensive touchdown. Another one gave Georgia the ball at the 11. The other one gave Georgia the ball inside the 40. So, Dog Nation, there's no way you're winning the national title. I wouldn't say that. Even as a Georgia fan, you can say I'm biased. I think there are two teams right now that could beat Georgia. I'm going to keep saying that: Ohio State and Alabama. If you're a Georgia fan, go watch Ohio State tonight. Ohio State's defense is playing a lot better. In the past 3 games, they played, not great teams. They played Maryland, Rutgers, and Indiana. They've given up, 17 total points. Okay, well, you can tell me, Georgia's only giving up less than 6 points a game. Yeah, but Ohio State's also number 1 offensively, and they're scoring over 50 points per game. So Ohio State, to me, looks like the best team in the country right now. The only reason why they're not is because they have a fluke loss to Oregon at home. And C.J. Stroud looks like the best quarterback in the country. And his wide receivers might make a lot of these plays and might make them look good. But if you watch C.J. Stroud, he's still making some amazing throws and some amazing reads. So I'm just being real. I think Ohio State might be just a little bit better than Georgia right now.